Alright guys, I feel like I've said it a million times, but this time, I actually mean it. Lugia V-STAR is so back. 2 rotations ago, one of the biggest things we lost in Lugia V-STAR was a viable Rainbow Energy, and now we've got it back, allowing us to attack with multiple other Pokemon, as well as put Lumineon back in the deck to get rid of it as a liability. But that's not all. I think one of the biggest additions to the deck from the Twilight Masquerade set is Carmine. This supporter is incredible for Lugia to be able to get what we need early on. Carmine allows us to discard our hand and draw 5 cards, so it's a bit of a nerfed Professor's Research. However, Carmine does allow us to play it on our first turn going first, so that is incredible, and it's been super helpful for this deck. I cannot stress it enough. I need to give a big, huge shout out to frequent Twitch viewer and Discord member XNDRX for building the whole list here. The only thing I've changed is I've decided to go with 2 Jamming Tower because I've been a huge fan of the stadium. Otherwise, the whole list idea here is theirs. So credit and shout out to them for this list. It's been working out super, super well. So jumping into it, we've got a 3-3 Lugia V VSTAR split. Pretty straightforward here. A lot of them are starting to go to the 3 Lugia V count. Seems to be working out just fine, so we will keep going with that. We've got 2 Lumineon V. 2 is super good, just to the importance of the supporters in this deck are obviously quite huge. And now that we have Legacy Energy, we are able to Aqua Return to shuffle it back into the deck to get it out of harm's way. So 2 Lumineon is better than it has been in the last couple formats. So then we have our usual suspects in Lugia. We've got 4 Archeops, always will be. We've got 2 of the 70 HP Minccino, 1 of the 60, the Call for Family Minccino. We've got 3 Cinccino, 1 Bloodmoon Ursaluna, which is super good as a late-game attacker. It kind of acts as a Radiant Charizard. For 5 colorless energy, it does 240 damage. However, with its ability, for each prize card you're taken, it requires 1 colorless less. So late game, you can come in and swing for 240 for very cheap. Very, very good attacker, and it's got a beefy 260 HP, so very good to have in the deck. It doesn't get used as often as I would like it to, but I still think that it is a very good inclusion in the deck nonetheless. And it's also able to help us pull off very difficult situations where we're only able to get 1 Archeops out. So that is also a good reason to have the Bloodmoon Ursaluna in the deck. We also have inclusions like the Iron Hands and the Wellspring Ogerpon EX, because we do have that single Legacy Energy as a Rainbow Energy. So we're able to pull off the Amp You Very Much attack and take an extra prize if the opponent's Pokemon is knocked out from that attack. The Wellspring Ogerpon comes in super handy with a Torrential Pump attack. It does 100 damage to the active Pokemon, and then if you choose to shuffle the energy attached to it back into the deck, which is super good for preserving Legacy Energy, you can do 120 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. So super clutch there. And as a real quick recap for anybody that doesn't know the objective of Lugia, basically we want to get up to 2 Archeops into the discard pile as soon as possible. So that is why Carmine comes in so handy to be able to discard our hand, draw 5 new cards, even if we're going first, because we do indeed want to go first. So the rest of the supporter item breakdown in here, we've got 3 Boss's Orders, 4 Capturing Aroma. We're going with the 3 Carmine. I think that count's been very, very good. Some are playing 4, but I think 3 seems fine for now. We've got 2 Great Ball, which is also a usual suspect in the deck. We've got 2 Iono, the 2 Jamming Tower, like I've been talking about. A lot of decks are focused on using a lot of tools lately, so I think the Jamming Tower has been a very, very good inclusion in Lugia. We've got 2 Professor's Research still, because sometimes we still want to, ditch our hand and draw 7 cards. We've got the 1 Serena in there as well, with 4 Ultra Ball. Then the energy breakdown, we go to 3 Double Turbo, 4 Gift Energy, 4 Jet Energy, the Legacy, and 4 Mist Energy, because effects of attacks are very, very relevant right now, and it's nice to be able to stop that. So, without further ado, let's get into some gameplay with some of these new cards included in the Lugia V-STAR deck. Super quick, before we jump into the gameplay, I wanted to take a second to talk about Pokemontcg. Pokemontcg is a modern, high-quality Pokemon card tracker that works across all devices. They just recently released an Android app, and they have talks of an iOS app coming soon. Pokemon.gg doesn't just allow you to track your collection, it also lets you build your decks out and keep track of deck lists that you have throughout your collection. Pokemon.gg offers so many different services. It allows me to keep track of my collection to ensure that I don't buy doubles of a card at vendors at Pokemon Regional Championships, because I've definitely never done that before. But this allows me to keep track of the cards that I currently have, keep track of lists like my Gengar collection, which is super handy because, let's be honest, sometimes I forget which ones I have, and it's nice to be able to come in here and reference this to make sure I'm not buying a second copy. Not only that, it lets me keep track of my decks, like this one we're talking about right here is right here in a very beautiful layout, and we are also able to export it to PTCGL, pull up the deck list on TCG Player, which is super nice. We can run test hands with the deck. There's an opening hand. Here's our prize cards. We can keep doing test hands to see how the consistency of the deck works. We can also generate a deck list image like I have previously in this video. Pokemon.gg offers so many more things like stream tools. It allows you to track your progress with overlays that you can add to your stream that are very visually appealing. Pokemon.gg does offer a free account, but if you happen to want to go with the yearly pro membership, be sure to use my code down below to save $5 off. Benefits of the Pro membership include unlimited lists. You can create custom lists of all your binders, your trade binder. You are able to create unlimited decks like the ones that I've shown. In addition to that, there are so many more perks, and this service continually gets better. They're constantly pushing updates and adding new things to the site. So if you haven't checked it out yet, I at least recommend going and getting your free account to help keep track of some of your collection or create some deck lists. Again, if you decide to go with the Pro membership, hit up the link in the description, use my code, and you will get $5 off of your annual subscription. But with that being said, let's get into some gameplay. All right, so we won the coin flip. That is generally a good way to start things off. We'll see if our hand is a good one to start off with. So we got Lugia and an Archeops. That's a good start in my books. We'll see what we get off of the top deck, and then the Capturing Aroma to follow. If we're able to get a Carmine with the cards that we've got, we could be looking alright here. Carmine looks fine here because we won't be discarding like a ton of resources that we... I don't want to say that we don't care about, but it's at least fine. So let's see what we get off of Capturing Aroma here. We got Tails, so I'm immediately thinking we go with a Lumineon for... So let's take a look here. We have all three Minccino, 2 Cinccino, we have 3 Archeops, there's 2 more Lugia VSTAR in the deck, so we're good there. Let's see, so we want to make sure we've got 3 Carmine in there. That's great. We do have the Legacy Energy, so that's something we always want to keep track of just to make sure we have it. So let's go ahead and grab Lumineon here. We know that we have other Lugia VSTAR in the deck, so we're fine with losing this one. It's typically, it's not preferred, obviously, but sometimes we have to make these sacrifices. I'm going to go ahead and slam down the Jamming Tower because there's no downside for us to do that. So we can go ahead and Great Ball here. We grab another Archeops. And I'm going to go ahead and automatically toss this just in case they try to disrupt the hand. I'm comfortable losing a double Turbo Energy here because I kind of want to keep the Carmine. We'll go ahead and grab a Lugia VSTAR. And then I think we're fine if they were to disrupt the hand, because at least we have 2 Archeops. We should be able to find our way out of hand disruption this next turn. So, starts looking pretty good. Depending on what they do here, we will be able to get the knockout on the Regidrago. We'll see. Hopefully, ideally, they wouldn't bench another Regidrago, because then they can't start to build up the potential of attacking, because the Regidrago V-Star does copy dragon attacks from the discard, so this can get pretty scary pretty quickly. So they've already got a Regidrago V-Star, a Hisuian Gudra, and a Giratina V-Star all in the discard, so they're going to Nest Ball. I'm assuming going for another Regidrago V, or Radiant Greninja. Drawing cards is also quite important, so we'll see what they get off of that. But we should be able to pull off the first knockout here, which will put us a decent ways ahead, which is great. I feel like we had a good start here. They did not get another Regidrago V out, so that's actually kind of huge. We're okay with benching this Minccino, that's fine. We will evolve into the Lugia V-Star. We can Summoning Star both of the Archeops. So this is like our picture-perfect Lugia start here. We load up the Lugia first, and we need to keep in mind we cannot attach a double turbo energy because this has 220 HP. We need to knock this thing out. So right here we've got a Jet Energy. We'll put a Gift on there, and then a Mist just in case they try to pull off any funny shenanigans with copying like effects of attacks in the discard pile. I'm not exactly sure what they might be able to pull off there, but I think here we can just burn another Jet. That seems fine. So we'll go there. I'm going to Carmine here, and I think in order to do so, I'm just going to go ahead and preemptively attach the Legacy to the Lumineon, because if we were to lose it either way, it kind of, you know, we don't really want to do that. So what we'll do here is we'll go ahead and I think bench another Minccino seems fine, because they might have bench sniping potential, but I don't think so. Either way, we're getting the knockout here, and that is great. So we'll go ahead and Tempest Dive for 220 for the clean KO. We will not discard the Stadium, and we'll see if they're able to come back from that early aggression. So as you can see, when Lugia gets where it needs to get early in the game, it's huge, and I think Carmine is a huge factor there. Carmine significantly helps us pull this off. So the only misplay I think I might have done here is maybe benching this Minccino is not the call, just to leave opportunities for potentially another Lumineon to take care of this Regidrago V, but that's also quite aggressive, and I don't know that that's, you know, like the correct play, but it is an option. It's probably never bad to leave those types of options open, just because there was really no need to bench another Minccino. Because Minccino's not as crucial of an attacker in this matchup, I wouldn't think, as it would be in like Charizard. But we'll see. We'll see how things play out here. So they've got the Ultra Ball. They toss the Enhanced Hammer, which is quite interesting. I had suspicion that they were playing an Enhanced Hammer, from what I had seen from this deck before, but, you know, I was going to Carmine anyway, so attaching the Legacy Energy, I think, was still fine here, but they go ahead and pass, so we've got, and they go ahead and just concede, so I don't think they were able to come back from the aggressive Lugia start. Okay, so we are going second. I don't know, this is not a terrible going second hand, but we'll see. So we're up against Lugia. Could be difficult if they get a good start here. Yeah, this is quite up in the air. So we'll see what they're able to get down on the turn. They attach the Jet to the Lugia, and that's a pass. So it looks like they don't have a fantastic start here. We are going to Capturing Aroma. We get Tails. Okay, so we do need to guarantee that we have the Lugia down, which is great. We'll go there. I think we can attach the gift there, because I'd rather lose the Minccino, unfortunately, than I would the Cinccino. So that being said, or the Minccino than the Lugia, I'm sorry. We'll toss those two. And we also have a pretty fantastic start here. I hate to do it, but I am going to bench another Lugia. Just because 220, they're just one Ultra Ball and double Archeops away from being able to just obliterate one of my Lugia Vs, so it's a tough call. I hate to bench another one, but I think it just needs to be done, unfortunately. The good thing, though, so they're going to get Lumineon in play. The good thing is that we have a pretty decent hand for the next turn. And by that, I mean we can delete our hand and get 7 new cards. So, we'll see. Curious to see what they'll grab off the Lumineon V. If they're still playing Jacques, they could grab that. Like I said, they could be just one Ultra Ball away from... So they're going to research. They're in the same detrimental position. So they lost the Wellspring Ogerpon and the Bloodmoon Ursaluna. So that is quite interesting. They have 0 Archeops in the discard pile so far. So they got heads there. We'll see what they're able to accomplish here. Quite curious. It's sort of who can get out of a rut faster here. Which is unfortunate. You hate to see it. They have the Ultra Ball. So let's see what they're able to get. How many Archeops? 1. 1, and they toss an energy, so they're going to have at least 1 Archeops. They got a second one there. Did they have... Yeah, they're going to read the Winded away. Okay, that seems fine. So we're going to try to capitalize on this slower start. Unfortunately, Carmine adds a lot to this deck from this format, but it just doesn't quite help the consistency issues that Lugia can have. It kind of just is what it is, but let's see. I think at this case, just to be safe, we'll go ahead and just promote the Lugia. I would really like to capitalize on like an Iron Hands play here, but it kind of just depends. So we do have... Oh, we only have 1 Archeops in the discard pile. Actually, didn't really quite think of that. So, we actually might be able to get away with that, though. Because they only have 1 Lugia V in play. It's kind of a toss-up. They might be playing something spicy like the Thornton or something. I think this is just a risk we're going to have to, you know, be willing to take here. We'll do the single Archeops play. And then we will get 2 energy onto the Lugia VSTAR to get the 220 damage knockout. If they pull off a Thornton play of some sort, then I guess that's just something we're going to have to deal with. But taking the 2 prizes here seems fine. For a second there, it's always good to check your discard, just to make sure. I was under the impression I had 2 Archeops in the discard pile already, but we didn't, and this is where we're at. So we'll see. Like I said, they might be able to pull off a spicy Thornton play to change this into a Lugia, and then they can Summoning Star both of their Archeops. I would love to see it, honestly. So we'll see if that's what they're able to do here. So they hit heads on the Capturing Aroma. They grab another Archeops. And we'll see what they are able to do. They Ultra Ball. We have a ton of energy in our hand, which is something I kind of just noticed. But we'll see. If they had a Thornton play here, I would assume we'd see a Lumineon for the Thornton here at this point. But they would also need the Lugia VSTAR as well. So they're going to Ultra Ball those away. Grab another Lugia V. Fortunately for us, we have a boss in our hand, so we can kind of just eliminate that threat. They're gonna Iono. Okay, that checks out. So we'll see what we get off of this. Could be better. It could also be worse. So they attach the... Interesting. So this does limit me to 1 prize, but I don't know that attaching the Legacy Energy there is worth it. Because then I would be okay just being down 1 prize here, because then they lose their Legacy Energy, and I think that's huge. So let's go ahead and evolve the Cinccino. I think that's fine. We will Gift Energy the Cinccino, and we'll go ahead and Iono them ourselves. See what we're able to get here. So I'm half tempted to... Let's see, we're down 0 energies. This is kind of a tough one here. I'm going to go ahead and go for this. Let's hit the Archeops and the Jet. I want to keep the Carmine around just in case we need it. So I kind of want to go ahead and just preemptively load up this Iron Hands here. Just in case. I'm expecting the worst here. I'm expecting that we lose our Archeops. And that's not something that we want. I'm going to grab Legacy and Gift here. Now, obviously, they have the potential to be able to knock it out with the Cinccino, but I feel like at that rate, I'd be almost fine with that. So we'll Tempest Dive here, take the Lumineon and the Legacy Energy out of play. We'll only take 1 prize for that now. But I think it's worth it to have the Legacy Energy out of play here. So we'll see what happens. They have the Cinccino. I really would have loved to have taken out the Lugia V there. But, I mean, we are ahead on prizes by a fair amount here. So we'll see what happens. We'd like to take advantage of the Iron Hands at this point. But yeah, they can Summoning Star. They'll be able to take the knockout with Cinccino, which is fine. So they got 2 Archeops out, which seems pretty darn good. So another thing to consider here is the Bloodmoon Ursaluna could come in handy. I don't remember if I did discard it. Okay, so it could have been handy. Bloodmoon Ursaluna is really good for those single Archeops situations later in the game, because you don't need to accelerate a bunch of energy to it. But yeah, we'll see what they get here. I'm curious about them getting an Iron Hands, because their Legacy Energy is gone. Unless they play, like, Roseanne's backup or something, which would be sick. And I'd honestly be here for it. We'll see. I looked away and I didn't see what they grabbed off of Great Ball, but the Legacy Energy is clocked out for the day. They could. I think I've seen a couple Lugia lists at least trying out the idea of a Roseanne's backup, which would seem pretty good. It's like one of the only ways to get the Legacy Energy back out of the discard pile. I just don't know if it's worth it for the space in the deck right now. But we'll see. I'm going to assume that they're going to take the knockout here. It is important to note, though, if they do, and we're going to go with the Iron Hands play, we need to accelerate 2 regular energy, non-double turbo energy, to the Iron Hands. They got the Jamming Tower, that's fine. That should be perfectly okay with us. So they are going to special roll for the exact knockout. Gift Energy will activate here. We'll draw 5 cards. Okay. Let's accelerate energies anyway. I think it's fine to just go ahead and automatically promote the Iron Hands. So what we can do is, let's see. If only there was a way to pull this off, but there's not. So we will go ahead and grab, I think, the Lumineon, just in case. I don't think we need to discard this hand anytime soon, so we'll go ahead and just Primal Turbo these two straight to the Iron Hands. I think that seems fine. And then we're able to attach another energy to the Cinccino just kind of as backup here. And we should be... Let's go ahead and just evolve that, just so it's not a super easy target for them to take out. I think we're fine just amping the Cinccino here for 2 prizes. They'll draw 2 cards. I think we're fine with that. We seem to be far enough ahead. We should have a way to take our singular prize this next turn. That's kind of why I grabbed the Lumineon, just in case. I mean, if they don't disrupt our hand, then we have options to be able to go grab a boss's orders, something along those lines. Just to kind of leave the options open here. So, in order to knock out the Iron Hands, they're going to need to evolve the Minccino into a Cinccino and kind of take that approach. Either way, they need to knock out the Iron Hands. And the good thing about the Legacy Energy here that I'm happy to be able to showcase is that now the Iron Hands is a major threat. They need to take it out. But even if they do, they're only taking 1 prize card off of this because of the Legacy Energy. So, very good. Like I said, they'll be able to knock it out with a Cinccino. But again, they will not be taking 2 prizes then. So that's very good. And then we can just get the return knockout, and we should be fine. So I'm glad that this game ironed out to be, finally, a good showcase of just how powerful this Legacy Energy really is for this deck. It's also been really, really good for things like the Wellspring Ogerpon. This is an interesting play here. Double turbo onto the Lugia VSTAR here. And then they're attaching 1 energy to the Cinccino. Grab their own Iron Hands, bench it. And they'll Tempest Dive for 180. We can just go ahead and Arm Press for the knockout here. So that would be fine. Worst case, we could also just get... oh, can we not Arm Press here? Why can we not Arm Press? Oh, we need 2 Lightning. Okay, yeah. So we'll go ahead and bench Lumineon. So we can't Arm Press. I thought we could Arm Press, but we can't Arm Press. My bad. Got ahead of myself. We'll go ahead and grab boss's orders here. And then we are able to... They go ahead and concede because we could take it. So there's the power of Legacy Energy in this deck. So that's going to do it for today's gameplay video with Lugia VSTAR featuring the new cards from Twilight Masquerade. If you liked the video, be sure to go down there, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and leave me a comment letting me know what you think of these Twilight Masquerade cards in the new Lugia VSTAR deck. But until the next one, guys, keep being awesome, as always, and we'll see you then. Peace.